Oh, hello, internets. How are you? It's good to see you, internet. Um, I gathered 5,000 top execs in a room, and this is not a setup for a joke. In fact, they're gathered more than that, but the point is, sometimes in the world of business and marketing, you do and you bring people together. Sometimes you bring together, you know, engineering managers or, telecom workers or advertising CEOs or startup CEOs or some combination, software gaming executives, content universe executives, whatever it might be, pharmaceutical executives, you name it. There's always some kind of big conferences happening. And conferences are a very interesting way to gather people, to make contacts, learn new things about different companies or learn things about different companies, whether those companies are new or not. Do a lot of networking. And to basically grow business in a way that is not, and sometimes this can be very fruitful. At the same time, sometimes it can be a total waste of time. And in fact, there are all kinds of formula that can be used to measure whether or not attending a conference is potentially beneficial or damaging to whoever is going in terms of their, the value of it that it brings to their business. Sometimes there are some immeasurable things that you may not realize the gain of for a while, or that you may never realize the gain from, but you'll still learn something of value that may later on in life be fruitful to you or convert into something else that's fruitful to you. But the immeasurables tend to be, they're not negligible at all, but they tend to not be considered when people who are planning the events or people who are planning to send company staff to an event are calculating the potential value of an event and of going to the event and of attending the event as an attendee, or maybe being a sponsor, or maybe being a speaker, or some combination of all those things, maybe being a moderator, a panelist, whatever it might be. There's all kinds of events with all kinds of roles and all kinds of benefits for each role. And why? What does this have to do with marketing? Well, again, it's one of the ways you can calculate and forecast your marketing efforts in terms of the number of connections you might make, right? Business to business connections, the number of possible customers you might find, either B2B or B2C or B2B2C. If you happen to have some kind of, event that you're attending, or if you happen to be attending a certain event where customers will be walking through the floor, that does happen a lot, right? It's not just about high-level executive meetings. It's also about, real world, rubber meets the road events where people are, hawking their wares to the invited public sometimes, right? Some events are small, some events are large, some events are somewhere in between. There is a value, though, in every one of these types of events if you know how to manage the potential value of it in any case. Hey, shut up. Hey, buddy. It's okay. He's sleeping at home. Yeah, I know he's always sleeping because of medicine and stuff. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. All right, you get attention too. All right, you get attention too. All right. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. See, my dog did this. He put his leg. He was a sleepy boy. All right, all right. I'll tell my kids you say hi. I'll tell my daughter you said hi. Okay. Love you, buddy. See you, buddy. Good boy. All right, man. See you. Funny interactions with dogs. Oh, some dogs. They're good dogs. Good boys. One of those like an Amstaff or a pit bull or something like that, and the other one's like a pug, and they're hilarious. Anyway, so there's always potential value to either hosting events or attending them, either as a guest or a speaker or a moderator or whatever, if you plan and realize and the planning, doesn't have to be great planning. If you, it doesn't have to be long-term planning. If you're just a guest or even a speaker, if you're a speaker at a lot of events, you'll know that you don't always get a lot of time to plan speeches and things, and sometimes you write them off the cuff last minute. Sometimes you have more time to plan them. But if you know the type of attendees who are coming, if you know that there are specific people showing up that you want to meet, so they can be incredibly useful and beneficial things to go to. But that said, again, you have to make sure that you're not wasting your time going from one event to another, because what does happen a lot is people will quite literally go from one event to another, and end up spending most of their year in conferences rather than, say, doing their actual job. And at the end of the day, that is not very useful. Just ask Mr. Duck up here, what would he rather be doing? Going to a duck conference or enjoying the waters on a daily basis? So, yeah, it's really a question of weighing the value proposition. There you go. Taking flight when there's the opportunity. There he goes. And not missing out on every opportunity. At the same time, not trying to be present at every event that you think matters, because there isn't enough time, right? There's for sure more than one event a day that you can't possibly be at, right? You can only be in one place at a time physically. Maybe metaphysically you can appear in more places, but physically you can only be there and shake the hands of a limited set of people. Are you going to go to be in events in different places all the time, or are you going to stick to one, general area, New York or the tri-state area or Chicago or Paris or whatever it might be, right? Taiwan, wherever you are going to events, where are you going to capitalize on being present, right? Are you going to only go to events that are relevant to your industry in a specific area, or are you going to be more global than that? Right? It depends on your role, right? So, be mindful. Don't just become an event junkie that can just eat up your time and your ability to be present, right? Hi, hey, easy. And don't waste the opportunity of the event if you go to one by just being a fly on the wall, right? If you go to an event, be a presence that is noticed in a positive way, making significant impact in a way that your competitors and your colleagues will notice and will appreciate, and make yourself be known in your presence so that those you would want to do business with, those you would seek out to meet, will actually seek out to meet you, right? Be the one that they all want to meet at the event. How do you do that? Well, it's really no different than doing the same thing at school or in social events or in, office parties or, community events, whatever it might be, right? Be the one that has the charisma and, you can call it charm or whatever you want, that has the ability to draw in a crowd that makes people want to know more about you. You don't have to be the best looking, you don't have to be the, best dressed, you don't have to be the funniest, you don't have to be any of these things, but you need to focus on something that makes you stand out. It could be, by the way, any of those things, of course. If you happen to be blessed by any of those things, wonderful. But not everybody is. And so, for most people, it's a combination of wit and appearance and charm without necessarily trying to be the best at all of those things. But the combination of it is like magic. And you have to find your own unique combination of that. There are plenty of ways you can learn to do that. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but you get my point, right? Be the one in the room who is socially engaging, even if you give off an appearance or an air of being slightly unapproachable. Don't be unapproachable. Be completely approachable. Even if people think you're unapproachable a little bit, let them see that you're not, right? Let them see that you're in fact approachable and all the other good positive qualities, right? Don't be the socially awkward one in a room when you have an extremely limited time to be there and you're not showing up as a celebrity famous for being socially awkward, because in that case you would also draw attention. Not necessarily in the way that you might think, but make an effort if you have to be, outgoing, socially active and all that, even if it's against your nature. Why? Because it can help you make the connections that will help you in business. I realize not everybody is socially outgoing, and some people are introverts and all that stuff. That's wonderful. But if you're in marketing, you have to make an effort. If you're not naturally outgoing, if you're not a natural extrovert, you have to make an effort to be a bit of an extrovert. Because if you're not, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get your message out when your job is literally to be the extrovert of your company in many ways. Right? It's okay to be an introvert if you're only marketing from behind a keyboard and you never have to talk to anybody. But if you're marketing, in person, in any way, shape, or form, or even on the phone, you need to project an extroverted persona, at least, so that people will think of you as an outgoing, friendly, relatable person that they can always reach out to if they have a question, and that you will be reliably reaching out to them whenever you have something interesting to tell them. And a lot of that has to do with the kind of skills you use for marketing at events. So keep that in mind. And if you ever have any questions about event marketing or presence at events, speaking at events, of course you can always ask me. And I'd be happy to do more episodes that deal with issues related to events, like how to prepare speeches, how to prepare, marketing devices or methods for getting people's contacts, things like that. How to prepare, giveaways, how to prepare contests, how to prepare, moderating for panels, how to prepare being on a panel, how to prepare booths for sponsorships, whatever. There's a whole lot of different things to know as a marketer when it comes to events. And I know it's getting to be that time of year when a lot of people don't pay attention to whatever's happening around them in work or whatever, because there's holidays and things. But this video is not about that particular time of year. This is a video relevant for any time of year, so whether you watch it now or later, that's fine. I know most people will never see this, but that's okay. I don't make these things for everybody to see, obviously. I'm not focusing on making a pretty video. This is just for people who want to hear about marketing and learn about marketing things that are very useful from somebody who's been, doing a great amount of marketing for some amazing projects, organizations, companies for, decades and decades. So again, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next one, Happen Marketing. See you.